Well, I am actually looking forward to this game. I'm not. I mean, I've done a few watch-alongs in my time for England. I'm not going to lie, but I am actually looking forward to this game tonight because Belgium are a very good team. I think Belgium probably are one of the better teams in world football for international football. And England, to me, flattered to deceive. And I'm just interested to see where England really are in international football, because I do think that we're labouring under this false pretense that we're a good international side. I don't necessarily think that we are, and I don't necessarily think that Southgate makes very good decisions, as many of you are no doubt going to talk about. I mean, Mason Mount starts again, Grealish doesn't, and I mean, look, Jack Grealish should be starting this game. I've got no axe to grind with Mason Mount or any other player, but Jack Grealish should be starting this game. And then the biggest one for me that probably isn't going to hit the headlines as much is that why the hell is Jordan Pickford England number one? I don't even think he should be Everton number one. And I know Everton fans who don't really think he should be Everton number one, but he's England number one, and he's awful. Like, he's an awful goalkeeper, and I don't get why. Look, people say Southgate's loyal. I mean, I'd be asking for a DNA test if I was Dean Henderson. Is he a long-lost son? Because there's just no... And obviously I'm joking there, but, you know, managers just have these weird loyalties. And the Pickford one, for me, he's just a crap goalkeeper. I don't... Look, he'll probably make 4 or 5 great saves today, but to me, a goalkeeper is about consistency and reliability. And over a season, Pickford has already, this season for Everton, made mistakes. But over a season, he makes too many mistakes. And I would rather have a goalkeeper that just keeps it safe and is consistent, and Pickford is not that. But the England lineup is Pickford in goal, Kyle Walker, Harry Maguire, which is very interesting. I'm interested to watch Harry Maguire tonight. From a Manchester United point of view, very interested to watch Harry Maguire this evening. And I'm sure many other people are interested in that as well. Eric Dyer, Alexander-Arnold make up the back four, so one of those is going to be playing at left back, which is, you know, a real surprise, really. I mean, I presume Chilwell's injured because he did get called up, but I think he was one of the players who got in trouble, didn't he, with Tammy Abraham for going to that party. So maybe that's something to do with it. I don't know. I don't follow England that much. Midfield is Henderson and Rice. It looks like we're actually playing a back five because Trippier's playing, so he will be at left back. So it'll be a back five with Kyle Walker, presumably, as one of the back three. Trent Alexander-Arnold as the right wing back and Trippier as the left wing back. Henderson, Declan Rice and Mount, and then Rashford and Calvert-Lewin, which, you know what, I've got to say, Rashford and Calvert-Lewin excite me. But Sancho's on the bench, probably a bit of a punishment, I suppose. Harry Kane's on the bench, Jack Grealish on the bench, Dean Henderson on the bench, Danny Ings. There's a few players on the bench that I think should be starting, and none more so than Pope and Henderson. So, yeah, I mean, Southgate is... I quite like Gareth Southgate, but he's just not a top-level coach. I don't care what anybody says. And, you know, Manchester United fans, we're going through this at the moment with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's a lot of valid questions about whether he is a top-level coach. But, you know, taking that away, because we're talking about international football here, Gareth Southgate's not a top-level coach. He isn't. You know, what did he do before England? Middlesbrough, under-21s. Yeah, I just don't rate him. I don't rate him at the top level. Belgium's team, anyway, will know all of these players because so many of the Belgian players obviously are playing in and around the top level. So De Bruyne is starting, yes. Mingele, Alderweireld, Dania, Boyata, Meunier, Tielemans, Witsel, Castagnier, De Bruyne, Carrasco and Lukaku. And obviously people will know Castagnier because he's just signed for Leicester. And you will know a lot of those players. Good players they've got on the bench. Trossard of Hull, obviously. Origi of Liverpool. Dendoncker of Wolves. Batshuayi, Benteke, Doku. People might know him from my Aston Villa career mode. But no Hazard, of course. He's got an injury. And Lukaku obviously starts as well. So, look, I think it's good. I'm excited about this game. I think it's going to be a good game. I really do. Zane says, English players, the most overrated players on this planet. Mark, did you hear the next excuse Glazers and Kroenke will have about transfer budgets? Are they donating to lower league teams and won't have money for budgets, says Zane. They'll always find a way. Hope England get battered, says Bradley Gore. Yeah, I'm not aware of Ireland and Wales 0-0. I mean, bloody hell. Imagine spending your Sunday afternoon watching that crap. And there is nothing better than playing FIFA 21 on a Saturday night and listening to Going for Goldbridge, says I want to know Jermaine Defoe. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You can check out this week's Going for Goldbridge on the Mark Goldbridge channel, but I can give you a bit of an exclusive as well. Going for Goldbridge. Cooking with Goldbridge is back this week, and it's going to be a cracker. It's going to be the best pie ever. I'm going to make a pie. We're now in the autumn. Goldbridge is going to make a pie, and it's going to be cracking. Can't wait for that. And I can already confirm that, God willing, we're going to do a couple of specials. 3 specials we've got lined up. Cooking with Goldbridge Halloween special, Cooking with Goldbridge Bonfire Night special, and Cooking with Goldbridge Christmas special. I've authorised them because it's my channel. I've not been signed up by anybody to do it, but we are going to do those. Bloody crewmate again, says Big Josh. Yeah, if anybody was watching the Twitch channel, yeah, Goldbridge TV on Twitch, we were playing a bit of Among Us. I don't know that I'll play it again. It was good fun, but I don't know whether I'll play it again, because I think when you're playing Among Us, you've got to play with friends, and if you play with friends, they're going to see your screen when you're streaming, so they're going to know if you're an imposter or not. But Cooking with Goldbridge is back. Really excited about that. Mark, you look like the villain from Scream 1. This is Amy Assey. Which one? The good-looking one, or the freaky one who's like, oh, he talks like this, oh my god, you cut me a bit deep, man. Yeah, I don't want to be that one. But Scream is a cracking film to watch this time of year. I don't know whether Gareth Southgate's singing the national anthem or he's just stood there singing a bit of Adele, because I haven't got the noise on, but I presume it's the national anthem. But look, thanks everyone for tuning in. We've only been live for a few minutes. England versus Belgium, watch along. I'm not mad on international football, but there's certain games that I would like to watch, like France-Portugal tonight. I think is a good one. Although we will be live on the United Stand before that. But yeah, that could be. I mean, to be honest, I'll probably watch it on the highlights, that sort of game. But this one, I'm looking forward to it. Seeing Grealish on the bench for England after watching Ireland's poor performance against Wales makes me really sad he didn't declare for us, says Joseph True. Declan Rice, Jack Grealish, imagine them in Irish shirts. I think they would have been your midfield for 2 for a long, long time. But look, you know, as an English guy, I'm not going to boast about that. I get it. I get the frustrations about that. And that's international football for you, isn't it? It is frustrating, to say the least. Score prediction, Mark, says Michael Duffy. You know what? My head says 3-1 Belgium, but I think it might, I think England might get something here today. Maybe a draw or nick a win. If Southgate gets this wrong tonight, then he goes, says Stephen Somerville. I don't think his job is in any jeopardy at all. Ellis says, how is Shaw not even in the squad? Mate, I've got no idea about that. What do you think of Northern Ireland winning the playoff semi-final on Thursday, going to the final in Belfast? Hopefully we can go to the Euros, says Roger McCalman. Same for Scotland as well. I really hope that you both I hope you both go through. Yeah, I really do hope that you're both at the Euros next year. And look, I look at the Euros next year and I think, you know what? I can't give you any guarantees, but I think in the Euros next year we'll be in a different world. We'll have a summer tournament where we have a proper summer with fans there. You can go on your holidays. I mean, it's just such a weird time, isn't it? And this is what I said when lockdown hit. Bringing football back, even like this. Imagine if we didn't even have this. It's such a weird time at the moment. I mean, an absolutely deserted and empty Wembley for a game like this. But yeah, I think hopefully Northern Ireland and Scotland can get to the Euros. Can England win the Euros? Top 3 favourite for the Euros, says Shaka Phillips. I mean, England have got good players, Shaka. I just don't think they've got the right coach, to be honest with you. Mark, out of Benteke and Lukaku, who do you think is more hung? Says OG Melon Hayes. Filth. Absolutely disgusting. If people don't know what that means, apologies for that super chat. And Mark, did you hear Arsenal could be in for Zaha and Aouar in January? How will you cope, says Zayn Miassi. I don't think for 1 minute you will be in for those players. You are run by the same sort of owners as us. But, you should be happy. Right, we're about to kick off. So, yeah, go with your score predictions. I'm going to go 3-1 Belgium. They've just kicked off here. Let me make sure that the timer's up and running, which it is. Hope you're well and keeping safe, says Tuhas. Yeah, so nice Sunday evening match. And the reason I'm not a big fan of international football is I think most of the time it's just dull and boring. I combined dull and boring into bull. But yeah, I do find it boring. Apart from international football, tournament football like the Euros or the World Cup, obviously it matters more then. Qualifiers, etc. I don't normally like, but what we've got here is England against Belgium. And England are on the attack here, and it's Trippier, and he's tackled there by Alderweireld. But no, this is a proper game here, proper game of football. England against Belgium, and I think it's going to be an interesting one. And I'm very interested to see how Harry Maguire does, because I'll tell you now, and any United fan will tell you now, he has been absolute trash recently. So let's see what he can do. Thanks for the contribution there from Huz. 4-0 to Belgium, says Kyle Middleton. Ryan Bridges says 1-0 Belgium. What time's the United stand tonight, says Nand. I think I'm going to do it about 7:30 tonight. We've got Ricky, Sophie and Flex on the show, and basically we're going to be talking about United the next few weeks, the future, the Poch things, you know, where everyone sits on Ollie. So it's going to be a bit of a free-for-all. Nice ball into the box here, but headed away by Belgium. Mark, do you think Liverpool will still win the league despite the Villa result? My prediction is 3-2 England to win, says Philip Hunt. And Dylan says, Mark, Gordon Ramsay tweeted, he says he wants a recipe you stole back. Imagine Gordon Ramsay and Goldbridge cooking. That would be, you know, I know he wouldn't do it because he's a big head, but that would be good fun. Goldbridge and Gordon cooking after 3 pints. I say 3 because my tongue loosens after 3. Mark, imagine if United swapped up. Passes the salt, Gordon, you prat. F off. Come here, you fucking idiot. It'd be great fun. Mark, imagine if United swapped Ollie for Southgate in that way. They didn't have to sack Ollie and he gets a job and he wanted you to get wardrobe of Southgate's waistcoat, says Amy Assey. Southgate has been linked to the United job, you know, in the past. Oh, it's a lovely ball here into De Bruyne on the edge of the box. Plenty of England players back. De Bruyne went for some silly shot there, really. Did you see Wan-Bissaka has chosen Congo over England to play for? Says, I want to know, Jermaine Defoe. I've heard there's a hint about it, but I don't know whether it's true. David Moyes says, Mark, your thoughts on Dyer and Maguire at the back? Could Phil Jones be the missing piece of the jigsaw? I mean, Dyer and Maguire at the centre back really. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, they'll probably keep a clean sheet now. England have started off quite quickly here. Here's Rashford. Good run by Rashford, but as with Rashford is normally the case, he doesn't actually know where he's going a lot of the time there. He's got it on the left. Comes back onto his right. Good cross. Headed away by Belgium. But England have started off quite lively here. But I mean, I don't know what people think, but I think there is a real... England, I mean, I'm a lot older than most of you. England have always had this problem where they'll have an influx of a certain position and then they'll be lacking in another one. When we had the golden generation back in the early noughties, and we had like Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney, you know, Gary Neville, Rio, Terry, Gerrard... We didn't have a left winger. There was just no left wingers to play on there. I think Joe Cole ended up playing out there, so we had no left winger. And right now we've got some fantastic right backs. I mean, Lamptey at Brighton looks amazing, but how's he going to get in the England team? There's so many right backs: Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, but now you look at us in other areas, and I think the midfield for England is starting to look better. Some of them are not yet totally established, but I think Declan Rice looks good. Obviously, you've got Grealish coming through. You know, in the attacking positions, you've got Sterling, Sancho, Calvert-Lewin now, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford. We've got options. Danny Ings, you know, we've got options. But centre-back, really, I think, was struggling at centre-back. And for a long time, it was like, wow, you know, we've got Maguire and Stones. And I think they've both regressed big time. You know, I had hopes that Joe Gomez would establish himself. But look, I don't watch a lot of him. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know whether he's got an injury at the moment or maybe he's even on the bench. I don't know. But England do seem to be struggling at goalkeeper and centre-backs. But I do think they've got some decent goalkeepers. I just don't think they use them. Yeah, Connor Cody's on the bench as a centre-back. Reece James is on the bench as a right-back, which is going to be when you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold. But yeah, no Joe Gomez on the bench for England, so I don't know. I know he played last week, didn't he? If Maguire plays well now, says a lot about Ollie, says Gonta. And why is Joe Willock not in the lineup today? Surely he should be starting today, says Joel Morris. Yeah, but who would you start him for? And Obama who, says Zayn Massey. I think we know what's coming next. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. I know we're on 239,000. Be nice to hit 240 today. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. We're on the road to it. FIFA 21, episode 6 of our Manchester United career mode was meant to be today, but then I forgot I was doing the international watch-along, so I just thought there's no point doing a FIFA career mode and then an hour later doing a watch-along. So that will be back with you tomorrow. Looking forward to doing that. Would you rather have Nagelsmann or Poch at United, says Road to Dawn. I would go with Nagelsmann. I don't think there's a massive difference between the two, and I think that with Nagelsmann you're getting an up-and-coming manager that nobody's had before in the Premier League. So I don't think Pochettino's this great manager that everyone thinks he is. I just think he's not Ollie, and I think that's why people want him. We did have left wingers back then, but none played for the big teams, and back then you had to play for the big team. Says Matt Throw. Well, chuck some names at me, Matt. I can't think of any left wingers that were good back then. Obama Watt, says Zayn Miassi. Hi Mark, please reply as it would like a Mammoose as my team lost today, says Sir Alex Illingworth. Well, I hope you're doing well, mate. The whole point of competitive sport is that, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Like my daughter's team last week, they lost 2-1. Their attitude was really bad. They should have won the game, and it was very disappointing. Then this week, they won 4-1. So things can change. Henderson's just hit a long ball here. They're trying to get Rashford in behind, but Alderweireld's just there to mop it up. I do think Belgium look a little bit vulnerable at the back. They do still play the three at the back themselves, and basically Southgate's just mirrored there. You know, you can tell a manager's confidence and ability levels when they start mirroring the formation of the opposition. And Southgate has definitely done that, because Belgium always play with a back three or a back five, whatever. Normally a back three because they're quite an attacking side. But yeah, good midfield three for Belgium. Witsel and Tielemans. Obviously, De Bruyne more in a freer role. Lukaku playing as well. Good combination down the left-hand side here. Oh, this lovely play. Lukaku! Oh, just headed wide. I thought it was going to head it wide. It was nowhere near the goal. But lovely play. Carrasco and Castagnet down the left-hand side. And the cross was good for Lukaku. He just didn't get a good connection on it. Obama what? Obama who? Obama Zayn stole his parents' credit card, says Andrew Mc96. He won't like that. And we need to see Wilfried Zaha playing for England soon, says Joel Morris. Mate, somebody tell him. Somebody tell him. Trent Alexander-Arnold got exposed then, says great banter. Look, I think even Liverpool fans would say about Trent Alexander-Arnold, defensively, he's not all that. Like, he isn't all that. I've said this before. You know, when Wan-Bissaka was playing last season, it was a good debate to say that if you could combine Wan-Bissaka with Trent Alexander-Arnold, you'd have the perfect right back. Because going forward, Trent Alexander-Arnold is great. Here's Meunier down the right-hand side. Good cut back. Should be 1-0. It is 1-0. It's Carrasco. Too easy for Belgium. Meunier with the cross back. He even has a time to take a touch. Carrasco in the box. But it's offside. Offside. Mark, thoughts on Maguire getting rinsed on training by Trent? Should we be worried that, says Happy O? Well, England are not 1-0 down here. They're not 1-0 down here because there is an offside. And I think it's got to be Mounier is offside. Well spotted. I mean, it's nothing to do with the goal in the sense that it is, but it's the ball down the flank. And he cuts it back to Carrasco, who takes a touch. Eric Dyer gets beaten by the control of Carrasco, but it is offside, so it remains 0-0. But very easy and very lucky for England, really. And it was offside. Offside goal for Belgium then. But twice they've been carved open, once from the left-hand side and one from the right-hand side. But it remains 0-0. But Belgium looking a very big threat every time they come forward here at the moment. Obama Clark Yang, get ready for the battle of Bruce Wayne against Frodo Baggins at the Emirates. The one ring won't be saving you, says Amiasi. He's in his own world. And hey Mark, how's it going? How are you finding FIFA 21? Defending has got a lot harder but a lot more challenging. Come on the 3 lines, says the Royal Mail X. I'll be back playing some FIFA tomorrow. Yeah, it's all right. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna do a bit of the Ultimate Team on Twitch as well, but I'll be back tomorrow with career mode. But a good first 12 minutes here. You can always sort of gauge how a game's going by how quick it's going, and I think it's been. I mean, England started off the first couple of minutes a little bit on the front foot, a little bit energetic, but they've settled in. I mean, look, it's very like United actually. Southgate's England. First 5 minutes they press, and then they never press again. But Belgium are playing between the lines really well, and they're using the width. And it's De Bruyne here, and Trent Alexander-Arnold wins the ball, but it's gone for a corner. How did you like Among Us, says the real Jack. I thought it was good. I just think it's a very hard game to stream because I've seen a lot of people playing Among Us, and yeah, it's good when you can do it on a Discord group. But if you were doing that live, everyone in your Discord group could just watch your stream and know if you're the imposter, which ruins it, really. Short corner from Belgium here, but Carrasco is offside from the corner as well. Bit amateur that, but England will take the free kick. Staff of a national team should be that nationality, says Sean Atwood. You'd get into all sorts of trouble for that, Sean, now, wouldn't you? You've got to be English to manage England. You know, what about freedom of movement? Mark, Liverpool signed the new kit sponsor today called 7up, says Joel Morris. As I said, only shit teams concede 7. But I think that's going to be a cracking game next week, actually, lunchtime. Everton against Liverpool. I'm looking forward to watching that. I think it will be a very, very good game. And I think that Man City play Arsenal. It's going to be... Saturday's a cracking game, actually. Saturday's a brilliant day next week. And you've got Everton-Liverpool at 12:30. You've got Man City-Arsenal at 5:30. And then you've got, well, United-Newcastle at 8 o'clock that you've got to pay 15 quid for. I mean, as a United fan, it's a good day. The third game's a good game. But, for everybody else, it's 2 big games there. And look... Let's not forget, City have taken 1 point from 6 in their last 2 games. So Arsenal will feel a little bit more confident. But lovely play by Belgium again here. And it's Lukaku running at Eric Dyer. And he's going to absolutely do him, isn't he? That's a penalty. That is an absolute penalty. How is he not given a penalty there? Eric Dyer, how is that not it's a penalty? He slides, gets nowhere near it, and Lukaku does what you do on FIFA. You just go into the slide. It's a blatant penalty. I'm sorry, even as an England fan, watch this back. Lukaku's done him for pace. He slides in, he doesn't get the ball, and he gets the player. It's a stonewall penalty. How can he say it's not a penalty? You don't get any of the ball, mate. Such a penalty. He can't believe Southgate and him are going, what are you on about? Look, he just doesn't get the ball. Lukaku bullies him. He's like, just don't go. I hate people who do this. It was like Pogba last week for Man United. Do not slide in the box. Like, is he definitely going to score if he gets past you? No. It's a pride thing. It's a pride thing. He's gone past me, so I'm going to put a stupid foul in. Lukaku, bang, 1-0. No messing about. Lukaku, easy work, and it's 1-0 to Belgium. totally deserved, and Pickford sent the wrong way. That penalty is one of those where you, as an Englishman, you want to say that's an injustice, but it's just this, sometimes you can't argue. No matter how biased you are, there is no argument there. Like, he doesn't get anywhere near the ball, and fair play to Lukaku. That is proper striking ability. He just mugged him off. But Belgium are on a different level here, and I think my pre-3-1 prediction might work. This is like watching us. I feel totally at home. Thanks, England, says Nick P. But yeah, I mean, look, there are similarities, aren't they? There are similarities between England and Manchester United, and those similarities are no more blunt than the fact that defensively they're just poor. You can't play at any level with defence like that. I mean, realistically. Mark, who is worse, United or England, is saying? Well, we're sort of talking about that. And hi, Mark, why is Trippier playing at left back, says Jordan Such? Exactly. And Mark, have you ever been priced out of watching the Newcastle Man United game? I think it's happened here in the US as well. We have been priced. Southpaw Love Sports here. We've all got to pay 15 quid to watch it next week, which is a joke. But you can't, at the end of the day, when you look at that Eric Dyer thing there, Lukaku has just knocked the ball past him and beaten him for pace. And then Dyer is, lost discipline and slid to the ground. He's either... look at that bad ball by Rashford as well. And a good save by De Bruyne. It could have been 2-0. But it's just ill-discipline, because Eric Dyer there has got to do a tackle that if you try and do it 10 times, you'll do it once. So, so many high-level sportsmen, you play the percentage game. Whether it's snooker, tennis, football, whatever... People will play the percentage game. If I play this pass, what time... snooker's a really good example, but I'll use it in football as well. So a snooker player might have a shot from one end to the other end of the table, and they'll look at it and go, if I took this shot on 10 times, I'll pot it 7 times. But if I play a snooker, I can put them into a difficult position, so I'll go with that. A footballer's the same. They'll be like, if I try and do this tackle, 3 times out of 10, I'll do it. 7 times it'll be a foul. So if it's in the box, probably not worth doing it. 70% chance. It's like a striker. Sometimes is it worth taking a shot or a pass? Obviously greed will come into it. But that penalty tackle by Eric Dyer, it's literally like, here's Lukaku in the box again. It's petulant because his pride has gone before the team. Where Lukaku was, he wasn't going to score. Lukaku's left-footed and he's on the right side of the penalty box. So he hasn't got a right foot, Lukaku, really. So Eric Dyer is just not intelligent either. He's slid in an area where I don't think Lukaku was definitely going to score. But that's just ill-discipline. High-level footballer. Good shot here as well by Meunier, just wide on the volley. But yeah, he's let his personal pride get in ahead of the team because he doesn't need to do that tackle. Dyer's worse than Maguire, says Ravens Club. Well, unfortunately, he wasn't last week. He wasn't, was he? I thought he was a weak spot, but then again, we never got to exploit it, did we? But Belgium are comfortably the better side here. It's been a good game to watch, and apart from being an England fan. Got nearly 10,000 watching, so please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. Why is Dyer even at centre-back, says Steve Thomas. Oh, it's bloody Mourinho, isn't it? It's Mourinho's latest idea. I mean, he wanted to buy Eric Dyer for Man United. He's a massive fan of Eric Dyer, but I think he wanted him to play CDM. Now he's got him playing at centre-back. Spurs are always going to struggle with him at centre-back. Good play by Henderson there. And that's a foul. And I agree with Josh Dixon. He says Pickford, Maguire, Dyer, Trippier and Rashford shouldn't be anywhere near the England setup. Well, I do rate Rashford, but I don't know why Harry Maguire plays as a left-sided centre-back as well. As a Man United fan, if you're not a Man United fan, can I just tell you, Harry Maguire is very, very right-footed and he always plays at left centre-back. Look at him. Everything's on his right foot. Do you want Scotland to qualify for the Euros? Yes, I do. I want to know Jermaine Defoe. I want Northern Ireland and Scotland to qualify, yes. Breach says, as soon as England play a decent side, they lose every time. They are a stat padder. They are a stat padder. I mean, what was this? Where are, you know, if anyone, I'm not even going to look here, so you can all tell me. But where are England in this Nations League, and how many people get through? Is it just the top one? I think it is just the top one. Because we drew with Denmark, didn't we? We beat Iceland late on, and then we drew with Denmark. So, and I think it's just the top one who goes through. Shaka Phillips says, hot take here. I can't see Spurs and Arsenal getting into the top four because they've both got a Europa League and they'll be trying to win it with a weakened squad. That's a good point. Could help. We will be playing either or at half time. Yes, it's a bit of a tradition on the watch-alongs on this channel. We play either or at half time, which is basically you give two things and I'll say which I think is better and we can argue. Normally football things, but sometimes it is things like hobnobs or chocolate hobnobs. To which I would say hobnobs. I like chocolate hobnobs, but I couldn't eat 4 of them. But I could eat probably 10 normal hobnobs. Corner from England. Comes out to the edge of the box. Declan Rice into Hendo. Cross to the back post. Trippier. What a shit header that is. But no, look, I just want to say that, you know, I don't care about England as much as I care about Manchester United, of course, but I do like watching football, and England is my national team, and in the Euros next year, I'll be hoping we pull off a miracle, which we won't. But when I look at this team, and look, let's pretend it is our club team, if I was really, really engaged in England, I would be like, you know what? I would be like, the goalkeeping selection is a joke. He's got 2 better goalkeepers in Pope and Henderson and he picks Pickford. That's favouritism. He's got Trippier at left back, who's not even our best right back, and he's playing at left back, which is just odd. Eric Dyer at centre back makes no sense either. So that's 3 players straight away in your back 5 that are just, it's just wrong. And that's on the manager. Trippier at left back, Eric Dyer at centre-back and Pickford in goal. It's just wrong. Really wrong. And I haven't even noticed Mason Mount in this game. I haven't noticed Mason Mount at all. And that's not to mention the fact that, you know, Maguire's woefully out of form as well. I mean, I feel sorry for Calvert-Lewin because he's not going to get anything to do with the ball. But I've not even noticed Mason Mount. It's poor. I mean, I think Grealish is tailor-made for a game like this because Grealish is used to playing for an underdog and making things happen. Jack Hayder says that Eric Dyer at centre-back isn't weird. Well, it is because I said it is. It's my opinion. You might not think it is, but I don't think Eric Dyer is a centre-back. And I don't care if Mourinho thinks that. Mourinho played Scott McTominay at centre-back. So Mourinho makes mistakes, I'm afraid. Mark, did you hear Woodward is making a cameo in The Simpsons where he goes to Springfield to persuade Mr. Burns to buy United and Homer as director of football? So Zane, you are on a weird one today. You really are. I'm just telling you now. FIFA career mode's back tomorrow, Jonathan Burhan. I was on Twitch today, Goldbridge TV, if you want to check it out. Nice ball into the feet of Mason Mount and he loses it. Madness. But I think Southgate's got to be under scrutiny by the FA. He's just not doing the best. He's miles off. It's just nowhere near getting the best out of this squad that he's got. And look, I know people aren't going to like this, but like Luke Shaw at left back would be miles better than Trippier. And I know it's fashionable to say that Luke Shaw's crap, but I mean, look, there's probably other left backs you can think of. I would play Saka from Arsenal at left back. Like he did it brilliantly last season. So I'm not beating the Luke Shaw drum here. He would do a better job than Trippier, definitely. But the point I'm making is Southgate. There's got to be scrutiny on Gareth Southgate because Pickford in goal, Dyer at centre-back, Trippier at left-back, Mount as a centre-attacking midfielder instead of... He's got better talent that he's not picking, and that's when a manager needs to come under scrutiny because this is not a joke. This is a competitive game against Belgium, and they're embarrassing us. They've absolutely embarrassed us, and, you know, we've got better players than this, but we're not in this game. Wenger for England, Mark, says James Gunn. He might be a little bit old for it now, but I wouldn't mind it. The Premier League is arguably the best in the world, yet why has England failed to perform at an international level for so long? Because we don't appoint good coaches, Arjun. I prefer international football, less money involved. That has changed more so over the years, more passion, and clearly England lack both of them, actually, says the Royal Mail X. And Southgate out, Eddie Howe in, says Joel Morris. I don't think Eddie Howe's the answer, but what's the story with Chilwell anyway? Chilwell was called up for the squad. He's not even on the bench. Aaron Arnab says that Southgate will be gone before the year. He won't. The FA love Gareth Southgate. The FA is the most archaic and grey sporting association in the world. They love Gareth Southgate. They loved Roy Hodgson. They love Mr. Bland. They love it because it's a safe pair of hands. They don't want the Mourinhos. They don't want the Sir Alexes. They didn't want the Brian Cloughs. Like, they don't want these charismatic, outspoken managers. They want Mr. Safe pair of hands. That's why Roy Hodgson's been the manager. That's why Gareth Southgate's the manager. And I'm not convinced that the FA want England to win trophies, because if they did, then we'd be all right. I think Chilwell's not very well, says Wrestle News 365. But you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Mason Mount, because I think there's a level of stupidity to Southgate picking Mason Mount. You know why? And I think Chelsea fans would agree with this. After the international break, I don't think Mason Mount will start for Chelsea, or maybe Lampard's got the Southgate problem, because when they've got Ziyech and Werner and Havertz and Pulisic back, how does Mason Mount get into the team? So I don't think Mason Mount will get in the Chelsea side, which means he can't get in the England side. Whereas Jack Grealish will always be in the Villa side. So I don't get it. England having a bit of possession here though. Rashford. But it's just side to side. It's crab football. They're just going side to side. They're not going anywhere. And Belgium are pressing them, but it's just side to side. Henderson with the cross. Calvert-Lewin heads it out for a goal kick. Is Mount the kid of Southgate and Lampard, says Anand? I don't know how that would be possible, mate, but I get the point. Keegan and Venables were different, says Tony G. Michael. Yeah, but Venables was kicked out, wasn't he? Quite quickly. He was only there for 2 years and he was gone. And Keegan was just out of his depth. He sacked himself. All the people. Witzel's just gone down injured here. And it's a yellow card for Declan Rice. He's saying he won the ball. He didn't. He's a liar. He didn't win the ball. Nice try, though. I used to do that. But I thought legit he was going to win the ball, but he didn't. Fair play. Yellow card to Declan Rice. Witzel. Sancho, Harry Kane on the bench for England. Different reasons, really. Southgate trying to make a point again. I mean, I agree with Paul Scholes. Foden and Greenwood are not part of this squad because of a mistake they made against Iceland that they got dropped for. How many mistakes do you want to make? How much more punishment do you want to give them? Who's a better left-back, Trippier or Brandon Williams, says Jordan Such? I don't know about that, Jordan. Trippier might well be a better left-back than Brandon, to be fair. I don't know. I respect Henderson, but when he has to play, when they're both right-footed, that's my point. I do like Brandon Williams, but Trippier is right-footed as well. So it's not like if Brandon Williams was left-footed, I'd say the left-footer. I respect Henderson, but when he has to play as a midfielder who has to control the game, he's pretty bad at it. It's just Sharath Kamath fitness. I think Jordan Henderson suits Liverpool. You know, for Liverpool, he's a very good player, but in an England shirt, he's got to try and control the team himself. He hasn't got Salah and Mane and Van Dijk and Firmino and Wijnaldum and Fabinho around him, has he? And he can't look to his fullbacks and go, oh, here's Andy Robertson and here's Trent. Yeah, he has got Trent, but it's a different formation. But Belgium 1-0 up. They've been comfortable, but 1-0 is always an opportunity to get back into the game. Here's Jordan Henderson. Gives it to Declan Rice. Into Mason Mount. Comes back. God, England are boring. All the way back to Eric Dyer in his own half. They're clueless. They've got no idea. It's just side-to-side passing. Look at it. Maguire now. He'll give it into Eric Dyer. They just go side-to-side. Beckham in his prime or Giggs in his prime, says Sagor. Very different players. I mean, I would go with Beckham just because of his. I just liked Beckham, but Giggs at his best was just an amazing talent as well. But totally different players. That's a good ball by Harry Maguire into Calvert-Lewin, and he's spun his man, and he's won a corner to England, and it was an adventurous ball by Harry. Jake Young says this is a good game for Danny Ings. He always has little chances and makes something happen. Siddharth says we miss Harry Kane. I'd heard that Harry Kane was out injured. But obviously that was a bit of a smokescreen. Might be carrying a bit of a knock. Corner comes in. Easy catch from Ingley. I've got homework. Can you motivate me to do it, says Big Josh. You shouldn't be leaving your homework till Sunday night. I used to do that. And you just keep waiting, putting it off hour by hour. And then time runs out. If we look at the England team as Southgate's daughter, Grealish is the wonderful but unapproved of boyfriend, and Mount is the junior accountant that Southgate wants her to marry. Joke of a manager, says Jacob C. I'll tell you what, Jacob, that works. Well done, that does work. Yeah, so if England is Gareth Southgate's daughter, then yeah, Jack Grealish is the lad that he doesn't approve of, whereas Mason Mount is the young accountant who he wants her to marry. I basically just repeated Jacob's point that everyone probably got in the first place. Calvert-Lewin. I do like Calvert-Lewin. I mean, look, he's never going to be Mbappe. He's not that sort of a player. But as a number 9, he does everything well. Holds the ball up, lays it off, finish. You know, he's a typical sort of old-fashioned number 9. I quite like him. And his goals-to-game ratio for Everton, for a young player, is fantastic. Unpopular opinion, Sterling shouldn't be in the England lineup. Here's Rashford. Good tackle by Alderweireld. Sterling shouldn't be in the England lineup. He's selfish and doesn't work with the rest of the team. Could be better without him. And that's from Joe. And it's a corner there, won by Rashford. Some of these lot will end up in those England's Worst 11 shows they do every 4 years with players like David Bentley and Seth Johnson, says Nick P. And George says that Callum Hudson-Odoi and Tomori should be getting in the team. But they can't get in the Chelsea team, mate. So I don't think they're going to get in the England team. Corner to England anyway. 36 minutes gone. In comes the cross. And another corner. Boyata. Used to be at Man City, didn't he? Don't know where he plays now. I would guess he plays in Germany, but I actually don't know. Shaka says, what are our expectations for England in the Euros? I mean, they should be looking at semi-finals again. They were World Cup semi-finalists, so they should be looking at the semi-finals. But I think we've got a penalty to England here. Yeah. Meunier. Penalty. Watch this back. Wow, it's a silly penalty because what he's done is he's pulled Jordan Henderson. And the corner is going nowhere near him. Very soft. And Rashford to take it. And if England go in 1-1 here, then they've got away with it a little bit. Although in the last 5 minutes, they've been a little bit better. Rashford. It's a good penalty. And it's 1-1 England. 1-1 England. 1-1. Let's watch it from behind. Yeah, sent him the wrong way, just like Lukaku sent Pickford the wrong way. And England are 1-1. They were, you know, I mean, they weren't creating anything, but they were having a little bit more of the ball. And it's a silly penalty given away by Meunier, really, simply because the ball was the cross was going nowhere near Henderson. But it is a penalty, and it's fair play for the referee. He spotted it. And Belgium will be... well, England will be over the moon. But Lukaku, he's won it. Goes wide. I've just seen somebody on Twitter with over 200,000 followers saying deserved equaliser for England. I don't know how pissed they are, but I haven't seen anything from England that makes me think they deserve to be 1-1. I think Belgium have played much the better football. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe England are playing really well. I don't know. But I haven't seen a very good performance from England at all, to be fair. But I did say at the start of the game, I did quite fancy England to get something out of it. And at the moment, they're level. What we didn't establish, and I'm going to find out now, is what the story is with the Nation League's tables. So, Italy and Holland are in a group. So Belgium have got 7 points and England have got 5 points as it stands. Now, as I understand it, the top One from each group go through. So England need to get something here against Belgium. I don't know how the Nation Leagues work, to be honest. Declan Rice brings it away. Anas says tomorrow is his birthday. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Amiga FIFA player, thanks for the super chat there. 5 minutes to go to half time. Serban says that wasn't a penalty. I think it was a penalty, Serban. I just think the stupidity of it was that the cross was going nowhere near Jordan Henderson, so Mounier didn't need to make the foul, but he did pull him back a bit, and in the box you always run that risk. Pengland, says N Cigar. But can England build on this now? They've been given a little bit of a give me to get back to 1-1, so a bit of confidence. A lot of people saying that Mason Mount's crap. A lot of different people are saying it in the live comments. He's been somewhat of a ghost in this first half. Oh no! What a miss! Carrasco should have made it 2-1. What a miss! He's in one-on-one, slightly right hand side of the goal. I don't even understand how this comes to him. Lukaku, little back heel. Oh yeah, Carrasco's the wrong side of Trippier, and he should make it 2-1. Bloody Maguire again. Now it's Rashford. But Belgium win it back, no problem. Can you do a watch along for the old firm on Saturday, says Amiga FIFA player. What time are they kicking off? And Isaac says that Mason Mount's losing the ball every time he gets it. 2 penalties are the goals. Lukaku for Belgium and Rashford for England. Oh my God, Declan Rice there. Trying to first time it. Oh my God, Lukaku just pushing Declan Rice and over there. Such a big unit, Lukaku, isn't he? I don't think Lukaku has ever lost the weight that he came back from the World Cup with. You know, when he was at United after the World Cup and everyone was saying he was overweight. And I think he never lost the weight. And it's not done him any problems at Inter and Belgium, has it? But he's massive. But he's fast with it. What more does Maguire need to be dropped? Greenwood is still being punished for being dumb. Maguire FTW. Well, Belgium are looking a bit pissed off here that it's 1-1. I think they know that it shouldn't be 1-1. And Mohammed says Portugal versus France after this. You should definitely consider watching it. And Henry E says Maguire isn't on form, but the agenda is showing he's done nothing wrong today. I disagree. I think that chance that Carrasco should have scored, if he'd scored that, yeah, you'd be moaning at the person who doesn't pick up Carrasco, which is Trippier. But as a centre-back, you shouldn't be stood on the edge of the box letting the centre-forward do a back heel. You've got to be tighter than that. And he was about as tight as a pair of Crown's trousers. So he's just not playing well at the moment. It's not an agenda. He's not playing well. So we've got about a minute to go to half-time here. Get Jack Grealish on, says Big Dirty Dinner. I would do that as well. You know, I totally agree with you on that one because, and it is half-time, you know, England have got away with it for me there. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but England have got away with it there. They shouldn't be going in at 1-1. It should be like 1-0 to Belgium. It's 1-1, and I think they've got away with it. And I think in those circumstances, you know, do you give yourself a pat on the back because you got away with it? Or do you go, you know what, we've got away with it. Now, in the second half, let's go and do it properly. And that, to me, would be get Mount off, get Grealish on. It's just not been good enough. Anyway, we will be playing either or, so if you want to start chucking in your either or things, that's great. Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. Bottom right hand corner, we've got over 10,000 watching, and we are on the road to 240,000. I will tell you what we're on at the moment, subscribers wise. We're on 239,600, so we're 400 away from 240. So please subscribe if you're new. Trying to get to 250,000 before Christmas. That would be a nice Christmas present. So bottom right hand corner, subscribe. Everyone's welcome on this channel. We've got our FIFA career mode, and we do a lot of watch-alongs, and of course with the international break finishing this week, next weekend you've got games like Arsenal, Man City, Everton and Liverpool, and then a few days after that you've got the Champions League, which will decide what we're going to watch on those as watch-alongs. Joy Division or the Smiths? I would say that's close, Mr. Mitt, that one actually. How was that a penalty, says the GOAT Messi? I thought it was a penalty, to be fair. I did think he pushed him a bit. Southgate clearly dislikes Grealish, and if that continues it will cost England at the Euros and the World Cup, says Tejas Danny. I don't know why Southgate dislikes Grealish, but I think it is very obvious. And are you going to watch the United versus Leipzig match or Juventus versus Barcelona because they're at the same time? Mate, I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm not going to watch Juventus against Barcelona. And Barcelona are shit these days. I'm going to watch Manchester United, of course. 100%. Lukaku or Kane? Kane for me, Callum. It's always been Kane. Yeah, Kane is better than Lukaku, yeah. They were quite... I think there was a debate to have about Kane and Lukaku in the last couple of years that Lukaku was at Everton. I think they were quite a similar level there. But since Lukaku went to United, Kane just went up a level, so it's definitely Harry Kane. Did you say you were going to watch the Old Firm game, Mark? Says Ed Nick. No. And hi Mark, it's so annoying that Ollie was building something special and the board ruined it, says Abdullah. I hope Ollie turns it. This might sound controversial, but I will take Graham Potter over Pochettino. Graham Potter's a very good coach. He's just not a fashionable coach because he manages Brighton. Nottingham or Birmingham, says Mazza. Birmingham for me. Doesn't Grealish have a hamstring issue too, says Ayesh. I think he does. That's probably why he's not starting. I know he's carrying a bit of a knock. Lukaku is the best bad player, says Zarms. Well, he's looked very good today, and I don't know whether that's because of the centre-backs he's up against, but if I was Belgium, I would be trying to exploit the lack of pace that England have got at centre-back and really run at them with that pace of Lukaku, because he is he has looked quite good so far. Arsenal are coming back, you guys, says Young King. Okay, fine. Whatever. I don't actually believe you, but whatever makes you happy. It can't be that bad. If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. Batshuayi or Osman, says Marcus. Osman, from what I've seen. Penalty Battle Royale, says Dr. Danger. I mean, look, just on the game itself, I've quite enjoyed it. I think it's been a good game on the eye. I don't think England have played very well. I know, as I said, I saw some people on social media saying England deservedly level. I don't think we're deservedly level. I think Belgium have created more chances than us. They had one offside. I don't remember us having a shot on goal other than the penalty. So We are a little bit fortunate to be going in at 1-1. Belgium have been the better side, but this is the problem with Southgate, isn't it? He just stays in the job. I mean, as I said in the first half, to me, Jack Grealish should be starting over Mount, but Southgate is picking bad teams. He's got far better talent and far better players, and he's picking bad teams. So I don't see what a good future for England with this manager. And look, I said it when Ericsson was the manager. We wasted the golden generation. Like, if we'd had a better manager, I think that generation of Beckham and Scholes and Gerrard and Terry and Rooney and Owen and Gary Neville and Rio Ferdinand, and I think they would have won something or got very close to winning something, but they didn't. And that's because Sven-Göran Eriksson was a safe pair of hands manager who didn't make big decisions and picked his favourites. And, you know, instead of picking Gerrard or Lampard, he would put Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes all in the same midfield, even though they didn't work together. So I think Southgate's a sort of Poundland version of Ericsson, really, because he's got decent players. He just doesn't make the right decisions as far as I'm concerned. Son or Rashford, says Harvey Evans. So let's have a bit of either or. Definitely Son over Rashford for me, and I like Rashford. I'm a United fan, but Son is a fantastic player. I think he's massively underrated. Twitter or YouTube, says Adari Grant. I don't really see them as a comparable, really. I've always been very big on Twitter, and always, I don't mean like I'm massive on Twitter. Look at me, I'm such a big head. I mean, I'm on Twitter a lot, and I'm on YouTube a lot, so I like them both. So I wouldn't really have a preference. I'd put Twitter and YouTube over Instagram and Facebook and everything else just because I use them a lot. England lucky is Hazard isn't fit, says Scott S. But Hazard hasn't been fit for about 18 months, has he? He's not been performing very well for a long time. He's certainly not the Chelsea Hazard, is he, at Real Madrid? Sancho or Sane, says Jamal. Well, different wingers, really. I think Sancho and Sane in the same team would be electric, wouldn't they? But I think England need to get Sancho and Grealish on, because it's not working that well for them today. But there's the penalty again on Henderson. I mean, there's not much in it, really. And the ball's going nowhere near him. But, you know, stupidity by Meunier. Stupidity. Bruno or De Bruyne, says Brian. Look, I'm a massive fan of Bruno, but De Bruyne is better. Like, that is not for debate. I mean, maybe, hopefully, in the next year or two, we might be able to have a closer debate, but certainly not at the moment. It's De Bruyne. Chicken or pork, says Tejas Danny. Well, I had pork for lunch, but I do like chicken. I think I like more chicken dishes than pork, but I like them both. Sorry, vegetarians, I do. Tamari at centre back over Dyer, says Charlie Slade, but Tamori needs to be playing first team football somewhere. You can't. In fairness to Southgate, you can't pick Tamori at centre back when he's not playing for a first team football in the Premier League. Mark, would you rather United win the Champions League or England winning the Euros? Says TJ. Definitely United winning the Champions League. Yeah. There was a time in my life where I wanted to see England win something, but I think the older you get, or certainly for me, the older I've got, the less I'm interested in what England do. I'd love England to win the Euros. I'd love England to win the World Cup. It'd be nice to see it happen. And, you know, when the Euros are on and the World Cup's on, God, you do get very engaged in it. But I always say that international football and club football are very different, because they are. But you know, I want United to win things, and a lot of that is to do with the fact that we haven't won anything decent for a long time as well. I think if you'd asked me in the sort of 90s or the noughties, I might have given up a Premier League to see England winning the World Cup, but not anymore. Still think Roy Hodgson was better than Southgate, but not by much, says Joel Morris. He probably was. I don't see the FA doing anything about it, though. Jazav says Lampard or Gerrard. I'd say Gerrard, you know. Yeah. I mean, Lampard was a very good player, but I would, you know, I wasn't a great fan of either of them, because obviously United Scholes, but if I had to pick one to play for United, it would have been Gerrard. Yeah. I think he did a harder job in a weaker team. So yeah. Donny van der Beek or Grealish, says Anand. I mean, look, I wanted Van der Beek because I just felt that value for money wise, he was the better player. But, you know, there's no doubting that Grealish is a very, very good player. Very, very good player. And look, To be honest with you, why am I, as a United fan, thinking let's get Van der Beek because he's cheaper? Because at the end of the day, we haven't spent that money anywhere else. So I'm a fool. But realistically, I just felt that if we spent less on Grealish and got Sancho, it would give us more money to go and get a centre-back or get the Sancho deal done. And it didn't work out like that, did it? So, more fool me for thinking that might happen again. Ultimate Team or Career Mode, says Andy Canane. I am quite enjoying Ultimate Team at the moment, and Career Mode I'm enjoying at the moment. So I'd say I'd say I like them both at the moment. I don't want to pick one of those, to be honest with you. Fatty or Greenwood, says Hull. I haven't seen enough of Fatty really, but I think Mason Greenwood's a fantastic talent for his age. And Roy Keane or David Beckham, says Ben West. I'd always go with Keane. Yeah, I think he's exactly what this current United side needs. Messi or Ronaldo, says Manchester is red. I always go Ronaldo, even though I know most people would say Messi. And Scholes or Gerrard, says Arjen. Scholes. I'm going to be biased. Of course I'm going to be biased. So there's no point. And I believe, the thing is, it's not just bias anyway. I genuinely believe it. Andy Cole or Rooney, says Lone Gamer UK. Rooney. And Firmino or Raul Jimenez, says Saul Perez. I think Firmino gets a lot of bad press. I mean, I just think some people don't understand that a number 9 isn't always about scoring goals. Mane and Salah score a lot of goals because of the work that Firmino does. They wouldn't have won that Premier League title without Firmino. So he's a very important player for that team. But Raul Jimenez does a different job for Wolves. He is a goal scorer, so I think Raul Jimenez could do a good job at Liverpool, to be fair. But they're very different roles, to be honest with you. Who would I prefer at United? Jimenez. Because I think United need an out-and-out scoring number 9 who offers something a little bit different to Martial. And hopefully Cavani's going to do that for however long, we don't know. Suarez or Lewandowski, says Chromo. Definitely Lewandowski. Mane or Hazard, says Shrikesh. Well, at the moment it's Mane. And Mane or Salah, says Oliver Edwards. I think I'd be interested to know what Liverpool fans think about it, really, because I would presume that many of them would go with Mane these days, but I've always been a big fan of Salah, to be fair. Leeds or Wolves, says Lewis Hamilton. Well, it will be Wolves because Leeds are a big rival of United, but standard of football, I've got to be honest, Leeds play a much better brand of football than Wolves. If it wasn't Leeds and the rivalry we have with them as United, I would say Leeds, because I find Wolves really quite frustrating to watch, really. I think sometimes they play so deep they're sat in the stands behind the goal. Pulisic or Rashford? I think over the last 8 months it's Pulisic, to be fair. I don't think Marcus has hit the levels for a long time. Obviously had that injury. But I do think Rashford hopefully is going to have a season where he gets back to that form he had at the back end of last year. Because I think when he does, he's a very, very good player. Everett or Marcelo, says Tejas. Well, it's got to be Marcelo. And I probably pronounced his name wrong. But yeah, Everett was a fantastic left back. But Marcelo, unbelievable left back at his best. And obviously he's still playing now. But in his prime, he was just an unbelievable left back. If you're Scotland manager, who do you start? Robertson or Tierney? Says, I want to know, Jermaine Defoe. Robertson. Yeah. I mean, I like Tierney. I think his crossing ability is fantastic. But so is Andy Robertson. So, yeah. Sancho there, looking happy. Grealish as well. They're all eating chocolate bars. They're not coming on. Looks like he's going to the cinema, Jack Grealish. He's got a chocolate bar and a couple of Lucasades under his arm. Who's going to win this game, says Rihan. Well, that's an important thing. Where are we going to go with this then? I think I went 3-1 to Belgium with my head, but then I thought, you know what? I do think England are going to get something out of it. So I'm going to go with... I'm going to stick with... I think it'll either end like 1-1 or 2-2, or Belgium will win by a couple of goals, which is, I know that's sitting on the fence, but there you go. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're closing in on 240,000. Bottom right-hand corner, subscribe if you are new. And Ronnie O'Sullivan or Mark Selby, says Alistair. England players are coming out. Mark Selby is one of my favourite snooker players, if anyone watches that. But so is Ronnie. I mean, style of play, it's Ronnie, isn't it? But yeah, I've always liked Selby, to be fair. And Neil Robertson. Is your Scotland... Oh, no, I've done that one. And what do you think of England's crap imitation of a back three compared to Belgium, says Marisem. Well, as I tweeted out in the first half, I don't think a centre-back pairing of Eric Dyer and Harry Maguire is going to send fear through the international strike forces of the world. I think even San Marino would fancy their chances against those two. So, yeah, I mean, look, England are not blessed with centre-back options at the moment. And there they are, the rebels, Grealish and Sancho, sat having a chat. Both should be on the pitch, really. It is crazy when you think of it like that, though, isn't it? Really. That Grealish and Sancho sat on the bench and Foden and Greenwood sat at home. And we're off for the second half. It's just a ridiculous waste of talent. And I know they might not be the cup of tea of all people, but, you know, what national team can afford to leave Grealish and Sancho on the bench and Foden and Greenwood at home to try and make some point? What it does is it shows that Gareth Southgate really has a problem with discipline, you know, and I think it will cost him. Ultimately, it will cost him. You know, in life, sometimes you come up with against talents that are a little bit, you know, what would Southgate have done with Gascoigne? He played with Gascoigne. Like, what would he have done with Gascoigne? Gascoigne was a player who was out on the piss, like, you know, actually out on the piss. Southgate, I'm not going to pick him then. You know, you've got to manage these people. Southgate would have dropped Gaza, says Cameron McNabb. Exactly. Great minds think alike. I hadn't even seen your super chat there. This is what I mean. What would he have done with people like Gaza and Sheringham? He would have dropped them but you can't do that. You're damaging your own success chances by dropping these players for players that aren't as good, but they're a safe pair of hands. Anyway, we're up and running in the second half. Let's see what happens second half. But look, this isn't a friendly game, is what I'm trying to say. Belgium against England. This is probably our most competitive game we've got before we play the Euros. England against Belgium is going to be our toughest game before we play the Euros. And, you know, what a terrible ball that is by Kyle Walker. Lazy, crap ball. Henderson wins it well, though. But yeah, we're playing a proper competitive game against one of the best sides in the world. And we can afford to leave 4 of our better talents out. 2 of them at home. And let's not forget, you know, Foden and Greenwood were sent home and England had another game. To drop them again is double punishment. Benefits, as a Man United fan and a Man City fan would probably say the same, benefits us because, you know, Greenwood's not out there he's having a bit of a break instead, but and I think people like Grealish and Greenwood and Foden will probably lack a bit of respect for him as well. But anyway, let's get on with the game. Sean says I could see Mourinho managing England. I think now he's in charge of Spurs. I don't see that happening. Man of the match for the first half, says Naive. Take a pick from... Rashford's in on the left here. Lovely flick by Calvert-Lewin. Pace into the box. He's going to have to cut back. He's cut it back quite well. It's a poor shot by Calvert-Lewin. I'd like to see Rashford not cut back there. I think he should have just gone for the penalty box. Keep your foot down and go. It's a lovely flick by Calvert-Lewin. And this is where Rashford, for me, just keep going, keep going for the box, make him make a tackle. But yeah, it's a poor shot by Calvert-Lewin. There we go. Rack shit says, when was the last time you were impressed by England playing? I don't know, mate. I don't know. There isn't a standout performance, really, for where I've gone, oh, England have played really well. I've got to be honest, I don't watch a lot of our friendlies and I don't watch a lot of our qualifiers. I just tend to watch the ones where it's a bigger game like this, and then I'll watch the tournaments. But, you know, we've not actually been good in a tournament for a very long time. I mean, look, we got to the semi-final of the World Cup, so I would probably say that... you know, I remember enjoying beating Colombia in the World Cup. Was it a good performance by England? But I don't think England have played well for a very long time, like probably decades, really. The Euro '96 side was fantastic. Like, it actually played good football as well. And I think France '98 we were quite good as well. We were just a bit unlucky there. But Sven-Goran Eriksson had the best players. He just played the worst football. Daniel Stow says, I love you, Mark. Follow you on all your channels. Bring on the million on the United stand. Let's hope Man United form picks up. Wish the fam the best, says Daniel. Thank you, mate. And I wish the best to all yours as well. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the super chat. For 4-1 against Netherlands, says Adam Edwards. Yeah, but you know, that's 24 years ago. And Brooke Hamilton says this will end up England 2-1. I mean, England could win this. Is Calvert-Lewin down the left-hand side. Of course, England play again on... I think they're playing Tuesday or Wednesday night. They're definitely playing again. They're playing Denmark. So 3 games in this international break. It's not light work. Would I like Calvert-Lewin at United? Yes. I'm not saying he'd start, but I would like him as an option. England are having... I tell you what, England have started off... I've got to be honest, England have started off the second half the better side. They were knocking the ball around a lot better. Southgate is more of a PE teacher than Ollie. And Gareth has more at his disposal, says Jordan Such. Kyle Walker gives the ball away a lot, you know. That's twice in the first 5 minutes. He's really given it away badly. Good tackle by Declan Rice there. Isaac says, do you think Thomas Partey gets into every team in the league? I don't think he'd get in Liverpool's team. Don't think he'd get in Man City's team. I'd put him in the Spurs team. I'd put him in the United team. I'd put him in the... I don't know whether he'd get in the Chelsea team. Not 100% sure he'd get in the Chelsea team. Arguable. But yeah, he'd get him. He would get in most of them, yeah. Considering United bought in a left wing back, cam and striker, do you think Ollie can coach possession-based 3-1-4-2 like Atalanta? And oh, they were looking for another penalty on Calvert-Lewin there. It goes for a corner. Maris M with that about the formation. And sorry if you've already spoken about it, but thoughts on Liverpool and United's new plans for the Premier League? 18 teams and playoffs. Is it too American? Says Aram Heckmar. I don't really know the full extent of this, but there is talk that as part of the Premier League giving the EFL or the Championship and all the lower clubs 250 million to help them survive, that they will bring the Premier League down from 20 to 18 teams, scrap the Community Shield and the Carabao Cup. So this is a proposal that's coming forward. I'm not aware of... Oh, corner looked quite good there, but Belgium have cleared it. I'm not aware of playoffs for anything. I don't know what the playoffs is all about. I haven't read about that. I'm watching it on Sky, Rehan. But yeah, if anyone knows about the playoffs thing, let us know, because I wasn't aware of that. Carlos says, come on, let's beat Belgium. We can do it. Well, they've started off the second half quite good, England. I've got to say. They're the better team. And they're winning it back a lot. And Calvert-Lewin into Rashford. You know, England playing with more confidence second half. Say it as you see it. That's what I think. If you watch football how you see it, without agenda, it's the best way. And second half, England have been the better side. I know we've only had 10 minutes, but nice little 1-2 there with Henderson. I mean, Mason Mount. How is Mason Mount still on the pitch? I don't know whether it's me, but I genuinely haven't even noticed him on the pitch. Goal kick to Belgium. And I don't actually have a massive problem with Mason Mount. It's not like I don't think he's crap. I don't, but I just haven't. I don't understand why he started the game, and I haven't even noticed him in the game. I've noticed Calvert-Lewin. I've noticed Marcus Rashford. I've seen Declan Rice and Jordan Henderson on the ball a lot. I just haven't seen Mason Mount doing anything. And it's Harry Kane warming up, which means he's probably going to take Calvert-Lewin off, who actually has had a very good second half. Pickford kicks it away. You missed my donation. 1, Everton 2, Liverpool 3, Chelsea 4, Arsenal. Just want to have another Leicester. What is your top 4? Says Young King. I don't know what you're on about, mate. You put Everton to win the league with Liverpool 2nd, Chelsea 3rd and Arsenal 4th. I'll tell you what, I'd be interested to see that happen. Does East Gaming says Mount's been hiding. I don't think he's played badly. I just don't think he's been in the game, and I think that can be more damning than a bad game at times. Because if you have a bad game, at least you're getting on the ball a lot. I just think he's just not been in the game. The game's passed him by, and I think that's more, as I say, it's more of a concern when you don't notice a player. It's like they're not able to, if you're not even being noticed. Oh, Trent, good recovery tackle from Kyle Walker there, but Trent got beat too easy. And Brandon says playoffs would function like Bundesliga for relegation. Bottom 2 automatic. Third goes into a playoff with 3rd, 4th and 5th in the championship. Well, that's all right then. As long as it's not playoff at the top for the league, that would be ridiculous. Like have a playoff. I mean, I do like what they do in the American sports, like the basketball and that, and they have the playoff series and ice hockey and American football. But I don't think it's. I wouldn't want to see that in football. And there is a league, I think it's the Belgian league actually, funnily enough, who do it, where the top 6 go into a playoff system. So you can finish top, and then if you don't win the playoff system, you don't win the league, which I just think is stupid. If you win the league over a season and then you go into a playoff season, what's that all about? And here he is again, Mason Mount, and Castagne just kicks it down the line. I didn't watch Nadal versus Djokovic today, Yonko, and I won't be, so you can, by all means, just give me a spoiler. But Belgium haven't done much in this second half. I've got to be fair to England. They have been the better team, and we've had 15 minutes of the second half. We are 250 subscribers away from 240,000, so please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the channel. Everyone's welcome on here. That's football. FIFA Career Mode will be back tomorrow afternoon. And I think I'm just going to have a look at what the watch-alongs for this week are going to be, actually. What have we got coming up over the next few days? Obviously, no decent football because it's all internationals for the next few days. So it's Monday tomorrow. And there's no internationals tomorrow, actually. Tuesday. I'm on the wrong date. There is international football tomorrow. It's Ghana versus Qatar, if you're interested in that. But on Tuesday night, you've got Germany, Switzerland, Ukraine, Spain. Scottish League Cup. You could watch Alloa against Edinburgh City. But on Wednesday night, it's going to be England then. England are at home to Denmark at 7:45 on Wednesday night. So I'll probably do a watch along for that. Saturday, we're back in the Premier League and it's Everton against Liverpool at 12:30. Massive game that. Man City against Arsenal, 5:30. Chelsea play Southampton at 3 o'clock. And then Man United against Newcastle at 8 o'clock. Here's De Bruyne running at the England back four. Somebody's got to go to him. And Declan Rice has had a very good game again. I've got to say that. And then in the Champions League next week, you've got PSG against Manchester United on the Tuesday night. And Chelsea play Sevilla. And then on the Wednesday night, you've got Ajax Liverpool at 8 o'clock. And Man City play Porto at 8 o'clock. Bayern Munich play Atletico Madrid at 8 o'clock. So there's some good games coming up over the next week and a bit. Nice ball by Rashford into Jordan Henderson there. And Calvert-Lewin gets the shot off, but not much on it. I'd like to see Declan Rice at United, you know. I was never sure about it, but I've been saying it for a few months now. He has really impressed me. I know Chelsea were looking to get him, but United, Chelsea looking to getting Declan Rice when they've got Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante. United need to be looking at getting a Declan Rice when you've got McTominay, Fred, and Matic. Goldbridge in, Ollie out, says Gary M. I'm not looking to take Ollie's job, so. United stands at 7:30 tonight. I will be watching a bit of Portugal against France, but I'm going to miss the first sort of half of it because I'm going to be doing United stand at 7:30 with Ricky and Sophie and Flex talking about this Pochettino Ollie thing. What happens now? Ricky's got some really interesting ideas about what he'd do for the Newcastle game that I think the world needs to hear, and he wants you to hear it. And I'm going to say I don't agree with it, but let him have his say. Aram, thoughts on having to pay 15 quid for a game at the weekend and probably a lot of our other matches this season? Sky Sports is dying slowly, says Aram. Well, how often are we going to have to pay this 15 quid for our team? Because if you're not on the telly, you've got to pay 15 quid. So if you are a team like Aston Villa, you're not going to be on the telly as much as a Man United or a Liverpool. So you might not be a televised game 6 times before Christmas. So that's 6 times 15 quid. That's 100 quid, isn't it? Basically. 90 quid. What are you going to do then? Belgium into the box. Lukaku, good tackle by Kyle Walker there. The Yorkshire Perlo, says I'm Keelers. Nadal destroyed Djokovic and equalled Federer's record of 20 Grand Slams. Oh, he won the French Open then, yes. Harry Kane's coming on. Either that or he's stripping off. Don't do it, Harry. He's putting his top on. I thought he was going to take his pants off next. Imagine that. Harry Kane doing that. Some people would like it. Not me. Is Man United the new Newcastle United for the rest of our lifetimes, says Venkat. What? What's Newcastle United then? Mark, who would you rather have at United, Simeone or Southgate? Oh, come on, Nazar. I mean, I don't like Simeone's style of football, but there's no doubt that he's streets ahead of Gareth Southgate. Here's Mason Mount on the ball. Good pass to Rashford. That's a good... Oh, what a cross that is by Trent. And it comes back to Mason Mount. And he scored! Oh my God. That's Grealish never getting picked again. You have to laugh. The one thing he does all game, and it deflects in. And it's 2-1 to England. And look, you know what? Fair play. If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery. But ultimately, that is Southgate being proved right by not picking Grealish and picking Mason Mount. So, look. It's no skin off my nose. You know, it's nice that England are winning. I am English, but to be honest with you, we ain't never winning anything with Gareth Southgate in charge when he's picking players like this. But he'll be sat there going, well, I've got it right. I've picked the team right. Mason Mount scored. He's made a couple of substitutions here. Jordan Henderson's come off for... Phillips, and Kane's come on for Calvert-Lewin. So, yeah. He's a massively frustrating manager, Gareth Southgate, isn't he? But he'll be justified now. Oh, look at me. I'm right. I'm absolutely justified to pick Mason Mount. He does sod all game and scores a deflected goal, but I'm right. So... But England could get a really good win here. Let's focus on that for a moment. They have been the better team second half, so that England could get a win here. Belgium have been pretty poor second half, to be honest with you. Good header away by Trippier there. Corner to Belgium. It just had to be Mount, says Martin. It's the way it works. You know, we've all been slating Mason Mount, and then he scores a goal. But I know a lot of Chelsea fans, and I don't think they would disagree with the criticism of Mason Mount today. He's been like a ghost. And look, my dad supports Chelsea. Actually, we've spoken about Mason Mount in the past, I think, and it's like, you know, you want him to do well because he's a young English player, but I don't think he'll be in the Chelsea team after the international break. I can't see how he would get in. Although Lampard's a big fan of Mason Mount as well. I've been very impressed by this lad though, Declan Rice. You're offside, Rashford, there, surely. No, he was on. Thoughts on Poch, Charlie says. We'll be talking about Pochettino on the United stand in an hour's time. 7:30. Got Sophie, Ricky and Flex on. We're talking about United. What's to come over the next few weeks. Is Pochettino something we should be looking at? You know, I saw something today about that as well. I mean, I'll talk about it more in depth on the United stand, but there was this scenario being thrown out about getting Poch in but keeping Solskjaer involved. I don't know. You don't know with Ollie. For me, I would tell him to screw it. I would be like, shove it up your arse, but you never know. Have you seen reports linking Varane to United? I reckon Madrid would take 120 million euros, says Nazar Hassan. I've not seen those reports, and please don't show me them. Ryan Giggs at Man United? No. No, 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 no. So England, 23 minutes away from a very good win here. Stephen Torrance says, haha, you slagged off Mason Mount and he scores. I'm English, mate. I'm English. They're winning 2-1. How do I lose? How do I lose? Reasons not to get Pochettino, says Cameron Stone. Well, you know what? I don't mind talking about it for a minute on here, actually, because there will be fans who aren't United fans. But Pochettino's record, I tweeted it out today, Pochettino's record against the top six is 25% win rate. And I think Ollie's is around 50% win rate. So Pochettino's never won a trophy. Yeah, Spurs got to the Champions League final, but come on, they were a bit lucky there, weren't they? On the way, they were lucky. So, and he's a stubborn manager as well. So I don't think that. Well, you know what I think. With some United fans, I think it's just because it's not Ollie. I think, oh yeah, Pochettino will do anything but Ollie. I think that's where they're at, and he's available. But I don't think there's any. I almost feel like Pochettino would end up like Mourinho. He was available. He'd just been sacked. He's got a good reputation. But actually, should we look at why he got sacked rather than whether he's available? And that worries me a little bit about that. But we're talking about a manager that I just don't think is going to get sacked anytime soon. Oh, lovely ball in there. Castagnet, good cross. But Belgium have looked very lifeless second half. I don't know what their recent results have been like, but they've looked very. I thought first half they looked good, second half not so good. Of course, I must just say this though. I've forgotten. Roberto Martinez is no great manager, and he manages Belgium. Roberto Martinez is not a great manager either. So I was stunned when Belgium gave him the job. So for all the good players that Belgium have got, they have got Roberto Martinez as their manager, and I don't rate him. $20 minutes to go. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner on that road to 240k. Only about 200 away now. Be back tomorrow with the FIFA career mode. Just because Pochettino might be wrong doesn't mean we should just keep Ollie. There are others like Nagelsmann and Ten Hag who are ideal. Says Noz. Yeah, I agree with that. Stretch your back, Mark, says Dylan. Thanks. I need some food as well. I'm starving. I'm going to have something to eat before the United stand at 7:30. I'm gonna have a glass of red wine as well. I'm really in the autumnal mood at the moment. I had like a pork and apple stew at lunchtime. I'm making a pie for cooking with Goldbridge this week. I'm hoping the weather's going to be sort of like misty, 10 degrees. You know, autumn leaves falling off the trees. I love the autumn. So glass of red tonight. I'm going to get some Guinness in as well. That's an autumnal drink. Not for tonight. I'm not getting pissed. But yeah, I love this time of year. Champions League football kicks in. I just wish we had fans in the ground, but it's just we're not living in those times, are we? What a ball by De Bruyne. And what a miss by Carrasco. That is world class. That's why De Bruyne is the best at what he does. This pass looks odd. When De Bruyne plays this pass, you're like, what a shit pass. But then look at it. It's absolutely amazing. And Carrasco should score. In fact, what Carrasco should do is go around the keeper. Take the ball away and Pickford takes you out. Should have been 2-2. What a ball by... poor fisting by Carrasco. Don't want to know what his fisting's like. Poor finishing from Carrasco, says Edward Chavez. And De Bruyne's coming off. I think he might have a bit of an injury. Oh no, I think he might be talking tactics. He went like that. Back talking about the fisting again. Mark, you included the Southampton record, but not Ollie's Cardiff record in that to fit your agenda, says J. David. No, I didn't. And it was his Spurs record, actually. And United should have gone for Ancelotti. He couldn't. He could have, in all probability, been the answer, says Tejas Dani. De Bruyne has gone off, says Yunan. I think to be fair, De Bruyne looked tired. But that helps England, of course. I do like that Castagnet that Leicester have bought as well. I don't really know much about where they got him from, but I've been very impressed with him. Oh, Rashford's gone down injured here. Meunier with the tackle. Oh, it's not like Rashford to go down. Oh, don't know. To be fair to Mooney, I don't know what he's caught Rashford here. I need to see. Show us this again. Yeah, it's hard to see what he catches him on. He's all right. He's up. He's up. They got him from Atalanta, says Jeremiah. Thank you. Anderwell. Yeah, I couldn't see where Mounier caught Rashford there, but he's obviously caught something. As long as it's not COVID, we can all rest. COVID, I tell you what, COVID's such a weird thing where I live, and I don't, it affects everybody in the world, but where I live, I keep getting these notifications on my phone, you're in a high risk area. But, my daughter plays for this team on a Saturday morning, and they play 9-a-side with a couple of subs, so there's 11 of them, and they're all at probably 6 different schools. And we've not been out. Oh, look at this ball from Lukaku to Lukaku over the top, all on his own. Good block. And it's a corner. Rory says that Maguire and Dyer have played well. One ball over the top, mate. One ball over the top. I would say that Belgium haven't played bad and exploited those two at the back. Because that ball over the top is there every time. Corner comes in. I'll tell you what, Maguire doesn't win enough headers for me anymore, Harry Maguire. He used to be dominant. Who's your favourite manager in international football, says a terrible football gamer. Oh, God, now you're asking me a question. I don't follow it enough to know. I'd probably say Mancini at Italy. I think Mancini's a really good coach. I thought he was a good coach at Man City. I always quite liked Mancini, and I thought he was just one of those Man City coaches that ultimately you don't win the league, so you get the sack. And I think they were working towards obviously bringing Pep in as well, weren't they? So, but I think he's a good coach. Joachim Low at Germany, yeah, but they're not doing that well at the moment, are they? I don't like Deschamps. Kyle Walker's probably been England's best centre-back. I think he's had a good second half. Yeah, going back to the COVID, Glenn says. Yeah, I just think I think we're in this weird situation where it's really rife again, but I don't actually know many people who've had it, but it seems to be going up again, and it's going to get really restrictive again. I don't know where I sit on it. I wouldn't want to say anything publicly that I haven't really thought through, but I think that when you look at the death rate in hospital, which is very low, and then you look at what it was in early April when it was thousands a day, well over 1,000 a day, and we're not even, we're sort of around the 100 mark, yet we've had the most infections we've ever had. Obviously, the truth behind that is that back in March and April, we weren't widespread testing. So I would imagine the amount, if we were testing back in March and April, we'd probably have 10, 15, 20 times the amount of people who've got it than we've got now. So it's all about, you can't compare something with stats now that you didn't have when it was really bad. So I don't know. I just think, are we now at that point where the way we do things now, we just do it all the way through till March? I mean, I'm not saying put people back on trains. I'm not saying putting people back at work, and I'm not saying putting people back in football grounds. But are we not at that point really where we just sort of have to try and not go back into an enforced lockdown, and we just try and keep people in work and keep bars open and just do what we've been doing? I think that's what I think. Trent Alexander-Arnold coming on for Reece James. We're blessed with right backs, aren't we? I really, as I said in the first half, I really do like Lamptey. I think Reece James is a fantastic right back, and you know, Trent Alexander-Arnold. You can criticise him defensively, but he's a fantastic right back. Please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We're only 100 away from 240,000. Thanks everyone who's getting involved in the channel, which is appreciated. I've enjoyed watching this match with you. This is what we do on this channel. I just pick 1 or 2 games a week where I would just do a watch along, and you know, it's not a United game obviously because that's United stand. I watch a lot of football like a lot of you do, and we do the either ors, and we just sit and watch the games together, and I've really enjoyed it. So thanks everyone for joining in. Belgium on the attack, and it will be a goal kick, I think. Yeah. Oh, corner. Sorry. Yeah, I don't include Wan-Bissaka in there. I do think Wan-Bissaka's a very good right back, but I must admit I am concerned at how bad. You know, I think you can have a bad couple of games, but he's been bad since lockdown. You know, he wasn't very good after lockdown, and he's not very good this season. So I don't know what's going on with Wan-Bissaka really. It's becoming a consistent run of bad form, and he was one of our best players. Like for up until lockdown, from when we signed him in the August until lockdown in March, he was my player of the year. He was so consistently good, and then lockdown came, and he's just lost it. I don't get it. And it's a weird one because Wan-Bissaka's not, you know, he's a very, you know, from everything I've heard about him, he's a very level-headed guy, very dedicated to his job. It doesn't make any sense why his form has just suddenly gone out the window, and that's worrying. Because, you know, if Mason Greenwood had a bad game, you'd go, you know, maybe he's been impacted by what happened in Greenland, Iceland, Greenwood, Greenland, Iceland. And Harry Maguire, if he's playing badly, you'd say, well, you know, that being locked up in Greece and facing prison has probably impacted him. But with Wan-Bissaka, it's hard to figure out what it is that's causing him the problems. Mason Greenwood again with another shot that deflects. Mason Mount, sorry. Career mode's back again tomorrow, Rogue, but we are going to be live on the United Stand at 7:30. We've got Ricky, Flex and Sophie. Looking forward to that. I'll be setting the stream up as soon as I finish this one. LFC says Wan-Bissaka will be back. It happens to young players. I think he will be back, mate. What I'm saying is it's been quite a long period of bad play, and he actually seems to be getting worse. Like his positional play against Brighton was, I wouldn't expect that from a pub right back. Free header for Harry Kane, should have scored. He's been found out. This is Kieran D. I don't know, it's hard to figure out. I think Brandon Williams got figured out. I think they figured out that he's a right-footed left-back and they started to hurt him down the left-hand side. But I don't think Wan-Bissaka's been figured out because his defensive style is so unique that, you know, he's got these really long legs. You know, it's just, I think it might be confidence, to be honest. Carrasco comes off. Doku comes on of Goldbridge, Aston Villa for FIFA career mode fame. Doku, very fast player, quite a direct player. I'd fancy England to get over the line now. Be a very good win for England, actually. I can't believe he's not brought Grealish and Sancho on. You know, he's such a point to prove manager, isn't he? He's so I've got to be right, Southgate. Chelsea wanted to play Declan Rice at centre-back, says Charlie Slade. Well, apparently he has played at centre-back before. Hi, Mark. Watch along for Portugal versus France? No. No. They're the sort of games you watch them if you want to watch, but they're not the sort of games you do a watch-along for. I mean, I'll probably watch the highlights of that later. There'll be some highlights on. I'll watch that. It's not a game I don't want to watch 90 minutes of that. No. I'd be more nervous as well, because I don't want people to get injured in it. They haven't put the line out, so the line out will be about 4 minutes. I'll be out actually. So. Max says that Brandon Williams has been encouraged to go on loan. Yeah, I think he should. he'd probably play some first team football somewhere. Be interesting if he went on loan where people would pick him. Would he still be playing at left back as a right footer? Doesn't make any sense to me, but you know, maybe he sees himself as a left back. I'd like to see him at a right back. Oh, lovely running by Declan Rice. If you finish that, what a goal. Oh, it's such a shame Rashford there. That would have been a great goal. Rashford and Declan Rice combining brilliantly. And then Rashford on the edge of the box. So, brilliant by Declan Rice. He's so good. He's so good. I mean, second half, Declan Rice has took hold of this game. You know, if he was Roy Keane, people would be going like, Roy Keane's having a great game. He's been absolutely superb. And look, this is why I don't have agendas, because I'll say what I think, but I won't stick with that when the evidence is going the other way. And I always use Matic as the example. I thought Matic was a disgrace in 2019. And I thought he was done, and I called him a bag of cement. But then in 2020, he's just got, you know, he's not proved people wrong. He's turned it round, because he can't prove people wrong when he was crap in 2019. But Declan Rice, to me, I just didn't think he was that good. I saw him quite a few times. I thought he was not that good. But again, this year, I've seen him about 10 times, and he's so much better. And now he's dominating games. Like, he's fantastic. He's been absolutely brilliant. So, and not just today. I mean, I must admit, the last 7 or 8 games I've seen him play, he's been amazing. And, you know, I love that. I love that. I love the fact that, you know, it was a player that I didn't think was that good, because he wasn't that good. And now he is. And that's why, you know, you shouldn't have an agenda, and you should be open to changing your opinions, because, you know, people still have an agenda against Jordan Henderson. Oh, I can't believe Jordan Henderson's lifted a Champions League. I can't believe he's lifted a Premier League. And he's a fantastic, you know, he's done fantastically well, Jordan Henderson. He plays in a team that's won the Champions League and the Premier League. Jurgen Klopp would not play and carry Jordan Henderson for the hell of it. He gets played because he does a good job. And I think Declan Rice is one of those players. He's really turned it around. And, you know, I've got people I get on with who've always rated Declan Rice, and I've argued with them and said he's crap. And I stand by that. I didn't really think he was that good. And I stand by it. I don't think he was that good, but from what I've seen in the last 8 months, he's been so impressive, and fair play to him. 90% club is coming on, says Aditya. Well, wait a minute. There you go. You might have seen this on the United stand. This is my card plug card, and they did this as a bit of banter. So I've got 10 pace. I'm getting old now. I've got 92 back pain. Yeah, I have. 94 analogies. I think I should be 99 for that. 90 Sancho, of course, the banter, and 99 Pratt, and 85 physicality. I don't really know what that's all about, physicality. I don't know whether they're trying to say I'm a bit fat, or I'm certainly not a tough guy. But yeah, 90 Sancho. So look, I can take your little jokes. I can take your little jokes. A couple of minutes to go. Good win for England, and Rice man of the match for me. I don't know what anybody else thinks. Anish says, why is Sancho coming on now? Harish says, why aren't United going for Rice or Partey? Well, they can't go for Partey because he's gone. And that card is classed as Brian Varner. And it's Mason Mount coming off for Jadon Sancho. It's a jammy goal that wins it, but, you know, Villa scored a few goals like that last week, didn't they? So Sancho's going to get a minute. A minute or two. maybe no fans is affecting Aaron Wan-Bissaka's game. Well, that is the only... I mean, I wouldn't have thought that's it, but that is a logical, evidential thought, because he was brilliant when we did have fans, and he's been pretty poor ever since we didn't have them. So, would you be shocked if Sancho joins United next summer? Says Darth Maul. Deserve better. Yeah, I think it's... I think it's done. But the thing is, I said this last summer. I was so sure we were going to get Bruno because of many reasons, and then we didn't get him, and I was like, that's it. We'll never get him now. Maybe there's a bit of reverse psychology, but that's the stance I'm going with. A lot of people that I spoke to who said it was going to happen in the summer are still thinking that it can happen next summer, but I don't see it. I don't see it. 90th minute. 4 minutes added on. We're live at 7:30, so we're live in 40 minutes on the United Stand, so you can tune in. It's going to be a good show, actually. Really looking forward to it. So I always like the interactive StreamYard shows. So I think Ricky's on holiday somewhere as well. He'd probably be there in his bloody Bermuda shorts, and I hope he's got a top on. But it might have had a few sangrias. I don't know where he'd be at this time of year, because I think even in Spain it'd be cold. Calvin Phillips has been good since he came on, says Taylor. Camavinga's very good in FIFA 21. Ricky, Sophie, Flex, and me, Mark McKenna. We're live at 7:30 tonight. I'm going to set the stream up as soon as we've finished this. And it's going to be, look, ultimately, very good win for England. It puts us, I think, level on points with Belgium. Actually, I think it puts us ahead of Belgium in the Nations League. I can confirm that for you now. I can also confirm the lineups for you in the France-Portugal game. So Bruno Fernandes is playing behind Ronaldo. Semedo is playing, as is Bernardo Silva and João Felix, and Patricio in goal. France have got Giroud and Mbappe and Griezmann as a front three, with Pogba, Kante and Rabiot as the midfield, and then Varane, Kimpembe, Hernandez and Pavard. So no place for Anthony Martial. He's on the bench, as is Upamecano, Lucas Digne, Camavinga, and also on the bench for Portugal you've got Jota, Podence and Neves, and Renato Sanchez. Forgot about him. So England have put themselves in a good position to qualify from the group here, because if they can beat Denmark on Wednesday night, they're currently top of the group with 7 points. Belgium have got 6 points. Obviously, Belgium playing Iceland on Wednesday night. There are a couple of games in the middle of November, because there's another international break then, where England will play Belgium. And then game 6 would be England-Iceland. So it will all be sorted out in November. So it's exciting, makes it interesting. It does make it interesting in relation to the group. I think England-Belgium in November is going to be really interesting if we can beat Denmark on Wednesday night. Poch is the most overhyped manager, never won anything while at Tottenham, says Psalms 14-1. Thanks for the super chat. Did we hit 240k? Let's have a look. 70 subscribers away from 240,000. Thanks everyone who has subscribed. Very close to it. My man of the match, Anthony Prayin, Declan Rice. Who was your man of the match? Let us know. Declan Rice to me every single day. Absolutely perfect performance from him. Fantastic, in fact. I think he was second half, just took control of the game, and it's given England that platform. First half, look, Belgium should not have gone in at 1-1. And if Belgium could finish, let's not run away with ourselves. I think if Belgium could finish, it would be a very, very different game. But They've thoroughly deserved it, England, to win. And Declan Rice, man of the match for me. Fantastic performance. Yeah. Enjoyed it. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Some people are saying that Mason Mount or Marcus Rashford. And look, I think England have got potential to be a really good side. But when you're picking Jordan Pickford in goal, and when you're picking Trippier at left back, and you're putting Eric Dyer at centre back, and you're picking Mason Mount instead of a Jack Grealish or a Jadon Sancho or a Phil Foden, and there's reasons why he's not done all those three things because he's a disciplinarian. I think a disciplinarian is a bit of a coward at times, because a disciplinarian just basically says, if you do something wrong, I'm not going to pick you. I don't care how good you are, I'm not going to pick you. That's not man management. That's just like, well, you did that, so you're out the team. That means Gascoigne never would have played for England. So Southgate needs to adapt, otherwise he's going to fail, because you can't just be a disciplinarian, because you're biting your nose off to spite your face. And I think that's what irritates me about Southgate. He's making weird decisions, and that will prevent England doing things. But look, we're live at 7:30 on the United Stand. I'm going to set the stream up now. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Really, really good result for England, and in many ways I enjoyed that game. So we will do Wednesday night against Denmark on here as well, but we're on the United Stand at 7:30, and FIFA Career Mode is back on here tomorrow afternoon. And Twitch, Goldbridge TV Twitch, if you want to watch me playing Among Us for the first time ever, that was this afternoon. So you can check that out as well. Speak to you all in a bit. See you on the United Stand at 7:30. And thanks all for watching. Really enjoyed it. And thanks for your company. I hope you enjoyed it as well.